Hey, this is Rick from Hiking Emergency Beacon, and today I want to tell you about my new ZOLEO satellite messenger right here. But before we do that, please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you'll be alerted as soon as I put out new videos. Okay, so here's the satellite messenger right here. It's pretty small. I'm going to pull it off my pack here so I can show you it a little bit better. All right, you can see it's about the size of a wallet. There's a power button right here. On the front here is a check-in button, and over here on the side is where you can connect your device to a computer to download things, or update firmware, stuff like that. SOS, of course, most important feature is right here. There's also lights. So all these lights here on four corners all mean something. Like, I believe this one here will tell you if the SOS button has been selected. Well, it actually tells you this. Here's the message. If the message has been sent, that lights up. Here's your check-in light, and down here this is the power light that shows you it's powered on. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to power it on. Now, this is my first time using this, so we should see some if there's an audible sound, and if the sun wasn't right on here, you'd see lights spinning around showing you that it's working. Okay, I'm gonna have to finish this test another time, but I do want to show you real quick. Once you have the power on, it should sync to your phone. So I've gone into Bluetooth here. It's not showing it's connected. It's actually looking for the device right now. It looks like it's connected. Let me double check my settings. And yes, it has a weird number, but it is connected. Then there's the SOS. You can make the SOS, start the SOS from the device itself or from the phone, and then you've got settings. Now, okay, I'm back and I've tested the ZOLEO a bit more. I was having some issues with it the other day, and the couple things I was having a problem with was, one, maps. I did some more research, and initially I didn't think you could see maps with the ZOLEO. It's not, and honestly, it's not as convenient or intuitive as, say, the Garmin inReach Mini or even the ACR Bivy Stick or somewhere Global Hotspot, because on their apps or on their device, where you get to see the map at, where you can click on the map, is really, it's at the bottom. It's right there where you think it should be. So what I found out though was that you can do the maps on the ZOLEO when you click on the Share Plus, I believe it's called. And when you click on that, then like when you send out who you want to share your location with, contacts, then you click on that and you can see a map, you can zoom out and you can look around. You can actually see trails, roads, and all of that. So the maps actually do work. And that's really important to me. Some people it may not be important to, but it is to me out here in Colorado, because you always should carry a physical map with you in case you have problems with your technology, connections to satellites, whatever it might be. And so having a physical map with you is important. But a lot of times on day hikes, I just carry my phone and whatever satellite messenger I have with me. And so in that case, it's really convenient just to be able to see the maps on your device. And I never want to come across negative for any satellite messenger, because they are all good and they all have their purpose and they all have their strengths and weaknesses. But in my opinion, the ZOLEO is not in any way similar or capable as the Garmin inReach products are. But let's talk about what it is good at. As I've been using it, the main thing I've seen is, these are called satellite messengers, and I've heard some people call this a satellite communicator. And honestly, well, there you go again. It's sending me another check-in or track message. What I've noticed about the ZOLEO is, and I don't think any others do this, either the ACR Bivy Stick or somewhere Global Hotspot, it can transition from cell service to satellite and back and forth, and that's really nice. But this one, the ZOLEO, it actually can go from Wi-Fi, cellular, to satellite. So, and it's always going to use the cheapest way to communicate. So it'll start out looking for a Wi-Fi, and if you can't find Wi-Fi, then it'll go and look for cell service. And then after that, if you can't find cell service, it'll look for the satellite service. And I find that really nice, because sometimes wherever you might be traveling, you might be, if you're out hiking or hunting or whatever it might be, and maybe you go to a restaurant that has Wi-Fi. Well, it's going to automatically connect to the Wi-Fi. Again, it'll go back and forth from cell service to satellite. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things I've learned since yesterday when I started doing the review. And I've got a lot of screenshots here, but the first thing is on the bottom left is messages, and you can see the different messages and the tracking. Like so at the top right there's a check-in button. If you hit that, it sends a check-in to your contacts. And then there's a map icon, and it just says location share plus, and then the interval 6 minutes. And so you can change that interval to, I've got the fastest you can do the interval is 6 minutes. After that, it's, you know, goes to, I don't know, 30 minutes. It goes up to 4 hours, I think. So there's some things if you want to save battery life, I would go longer on that. And then so at the top right again, there's a check-in, and then there's a plus. Now that plus is the actual, it's a plus like a icon, like a message. So that's where you could type in a new message. But the bottom left shows the messages that have already been received. The next on the bottom, next to the messages, is the weather. Some of the reviews have said that the service that this uses does not get as good of a weather forecast as others. So I haven't researched that enough to say for sure one way or another. Someday I may do that, but I'm not going to do it today. I'm just going to tell you if I've heard that. It gives you decent information here. Actually, it'll show you here. It's one thing I haven't seen on some others. It says like 10 miles of visibility. As a pilot, you always get visibility, ceiling heights of clouds and all that. It's giving the wind right now at now this is an older forecast here. Let me get an updated forecast, because it said that it was 9 miles an hour. So now, see, I got an updated forecast. I'm going to screen capture this, and you probably can hear it. It's 14 miles an hour. I think it might go down to 10 periodically, but then it's probably gusting to 20. And then down at the bottom, per day, it tells you the days. It goes out, it only goes out 4 days here. Tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's giving percent chance of rain, snow. We got chance of snow for 3 days, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then it goes hour by hour here. So the weather's not bad. It's got a lot of information on it. I've just heard it's not as accurate as others. And then there's the SOS here. You can choose the SOS from your smartphone if it's synced, or from the device itself. And then the last icon on the right is settings. And there's a lot of different things in there. My connected ZOLEO device, check-in location plus sharing. And it's got just different things you can set. Like I've gone in here in like a location plus. I've got everything on from location share plus session. The interval is 6 minutes. I'll just show you real quick. It goes 12 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, and 4 hours. The default is 1 hour. And then there's location share update tone, and then location share no movement updates. So the location share no movement updates, I have that on. I like it on, actually, because several times I stopped today on the trip out here. I was driving, and then I stopped and grabbed a sandwich, and then I stopped and ate along the river. So when I was stopped for 10-15 minutes, it didn't share those locations like over and over. So I like that. So back to messages real quick. That's really powerful. You can see on the screen here there's several different messages I've sent and I've tested, and they've gone through really well. It's a great communicator, or satellite messenger. What I like the most about this is, like pretty much about any of them, is the map. So you have to click on the message, on the share plus message, and then you can see information on your GPS coordinates, and then you can click on it again, and it'll show the whole map, and then you can zoom around and go all over the state and everything. Let me just give you my final thoughts on the ZOLEO. Size wise, it's a little bit bigger, I think a little more heavy, maybe a little more heavy than the Garmin inReach Mini. I'm pretty sure it's more heavy than the ACR Bivy Stick, and I'll put that information. I'll put some of that information up on the screen. It is a very good communicator, and when it can go from Wi-Fi to cell phone service to satellite service and then back and forth seamlessly without you having to do anything, there are no other satellite messengers that do that. So it has a real advantage in that one area. And then it's got the communication, it has the weather, it has flexible data plans or subscription plans, and it has maps. Now, like I said, the maps aren't as intuitive as you might think. You have to click on a message your share message and then go to the map, and it's not as powerful as some of the other maps. But when I compare the maps to the Garmin inReach maps for the Mini 2 and the Garmin Explorer, you can go on their website and set the routes ahead of time. You can do a lot of research. You can do a lot of research on the new Mini 2 by itself. That's coming in. I'm getting that delivered this week. But like, we're going to go on the Colorado Trail this year, and we're looking at either going for doing 3 or maybe up to 6 segments of the Colorado Trail. And I'm able to go in right now. I've done all 20, I think it's 28 or 29 segments. I don't recall. Maybe it's 23. It's like 486, 490 miles. And so we're going to do it over like 4 or 5 years. So I've been able to go in on that map program and put the routes in, and I can put down where the picnic place, you know, where the campsite's at, where the water's at, and I can lay all that out ahead of time. A lot of waypoints. I can choose different icons for the waypoints. It's really powerful, and I really like using that a lot. So the map on the ZOLEO just doesn't compare, but it is a great communicator. So in just wrapping this up here, I would say if maps aren't important to you, or you travel a lot, wherever it's in your country, or maybe it's around the world, and you want to make sure you always have constant communication abilities, and maybe you're just driving and going and sightseeing and things like that, maybe you're hiking, but so like you could take this ZOLEO and put it on your vehicle in your dash and drive around, and so at least you maybe won't be able to make phone calls but on your cell phone, but at least you can message people and you'll always have communication. So that may be one of the best things about it. That the flexibility of going in and out from Wi-Fi cell service to satellites. So I guess to wrap it up, it is small enough. It doesn't bother me on my pack. It's not real big. There are others that are bigger than this. It's not my favorite because it doesn't have as many options, and nor the power with the maps and the routes and planning. So but it is good. It's not as expensive as some. I think, see, I bought mine for $200. It's February 20th, 2022, so it cost me $200 right now, and then plus a subscription plan. So I've kind of gone on and on about this, and I just think it's part of it is because I struggle with it, because it's a good device, but honestly it's not as easy to use, or it's not as powerful, or the buttons and things just for me aren't in the places where I'd want to see them, and the map's not as powerful. So but I would always recommend for somebody, make sure you do your research, and I have a lot of videos and articles on my website, hikingemergencybeacon.com, and on my YouTube channel. So do the research, figure out. You can ask me all kinds of questions. I'll answer them as honestly as I can. And like I said, there's not a perfect satellite messenger for everyone, and this may be the right one for you. It's just not the one for me, honestly. I want to stay with the Garmin inReach Mini, and I just bought the Garmin inReach Mini 2. So, but it is a great device, and I appreciate you guys hanging with me today as I've stumbled through this review and field test. As I said, it's not been the easiest one for me, and but thanks. And thanks for joining me on Hiking Emergency Beacon. Please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you'll be alerted as soon as I put out new videos. And leave a comment below, because I've gotten some really good comments from people, questions that they've asked, that I've been able to do more research, in-depth research and study and testing on some of these satellite messengers, and it helps me to learn more, and then I can give a lot more feedback and more detailed information to you on these satellite messengers. So yeah, please leave a comment, and I'll see you back out here in Colorado next time.